Hello and welcome to News at 10 on Rajya Sabha TV. I'm Aishwarya Kapoor. Let us start the bulletin with the headlines. Election Commission announces dates of assembly polls in 4 states and 1 union territory. Voting to be held between 4th of April and 16th of May. Counting on 19th of May. 3 union ministers to represent centre in paying tributes to former Lok Sabha Speaker P.A. Sangma in Meghalaya. State announces the 7-day mourning, a funeral to be held today. President Pranab Mukherjee to inaugurate National Conference on Women Legislators and Lawmakers in Delhi. Conference organised by Lok Sabha Speaker to be attended by around 300 women MPs and MLAs. One Indian nun killed in Aden in Yemen. Gunmen storm missionaries of charity old age home and kill 16 people. And India files a complaint to WTO against US over decision to impose a high fee on temporary working visas. US reacts, says its visa program is fully compliant with WTO obligations. Well, the Election Commission has announced the dates for the elections to the 4 states and 1 union territory whose assembly term ends this year. Voting will be held in Assam, West Bengal, Tamil Nadu, Puducherry and Kerala between 4th of April and 16th of May. The Election Commission also announced that a model code of conduct will take immediate effect.
Assembly elections in Assam, West Bengal, Tamil Nadu, Kerala and Puducherry will be held between 4th April and 16th of May. The votes will be counted on the 19th of May.
The Assam elections will be held in 2 phases. The first phase will include 65 constituencies. The date of poll for first phase is 4th April, Monday.
In Assam, that has 126 assembly seats, elections will be held in 2 phases on 4th and 11th of April. West Bengal, that has 294 seats, will have elections in 6 phases on April 4th, 11th, 17th, 21st, 25th, 30th and the 5th of May.
Legislative Assembly of West Bengal will be covered under overall 6 phases.
With 140 constituencies, Kerala will have a single-phase election on the 16th of May. Tamil Nadu with 234 seats and Puducherry with 30 seats will vote in a single-phase poll on the 16th of May. The Commission also said the Model Code of Conduct has taken immediate effect. These elections will also have the nota option of voting for none of the above.
824 assembly constituencies are going to poll. The Commission is committed for strict enforcement of Model Code of Conduct by concerned governments, political parties, star campaigners and candidates. Over 17 crores or 170 million voters will be participating in these elections.
The BJP sees a strong presence in Assam, where it has announced pre-poll alliances with the AGP of Prafulkumar Mahant and the Bodoland People's Front. In West Bengal, Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee of the TMC will seek a return to power. The 3-cornered contest could see it pitted against the BJP and an alliance between the left and the Congress. In Tamil Nadu, J. Jayalalitha, the AIADMK will face a challenge from the DMK that has joined hands with the Congress and is also said to be in talks with the DMDK led by actor-turned-politician Vijay Kant. In Kerala, the CPIM-led Left Democratic Front, or the LDF, hopes to oust the Congress-led UDF. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And here are some of the political reactions to the elections being announced.
As far as the BJP is concerned, we will get more time to mobilize the people and complete the preparations all out in Kerala.
We will take up with the Election Commission regarding the increased number in the voters list. Otherwise, we are prepared.
We are so happy because we are very sure of it. 19th May again, our Honorable Chief Minister Amma, on 6th time Chief Minister, she is going to achieve and sit in the same chair again.
फिर भी 6 दफा में चुनाव जो हो रहा है इसमें हम लोग संतुष्ट है और सबसे ज्यादा संतुष्ट है पूरा केंद्रीय बाहिनी को तैनात करके चुनाव हो रहा है.
And 3 union ministers will pay last respects to veteran politician P.S. Sangma, the first Lok Sabha speaker from the northeast in Tura in Meghalaya. Sports Minister Sarbanand Sonowal, Minister of Development of Northeastern Region Jitendra Singh and Minister of State for Home Kiran Rijiju will attend the function in Tura today following a directive of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. While Singh and Rijiju will accompany the body from Delhi today, Sonowal will join them in Guwahati en route to Tura. 68-year-old Sangma passed away in Delhi on Friday. The funeral will be held today at Sangma's hometown Tura, West Garo Hills district of Meghalaya.
President Pranab Mukherjee led the nation in paying tribute to former Lok Sabha Speaker P.S. Sangma. In a condolence message to Sangma's wife Soradini Sangma, the President wrote, "In his passing away, the nation has lost an eminent public figure and multifaceted personality who made immense contribution for the greater good of our country." Vice President Mohammad Hamid Ansari paid floral tributes to Sangma at his residence in Delhi, where he passed away. In his condolence over the demise, the Vice President said, he championed the mainstreaming of the northeastern parts of the country and worked tirelessly for the uplift and improvement of tribal communities. Prime Minister Narendra Modi also paid homage to the deceased leader at his residence. Earlier, tweeting after the news of Sangma's death broke, Modi said, "A self-made leader whose contribution towards the development of the northeast is monumental, saddened by his demise." Earlier, announcing the news of his death, Lok Sabha Speaker Sumitra Mahajan described him as a man of the masses.
Sri P.S. Sangma was elected as the Speaker of Lok Sabha during the 11th Lok Sabha. As Speaker of the Lok Sabha, he conducted the proceedings of the House with great ability and distinction. His parliamentary skill and comprehensive knowledge of parliamentary practices and procedures, हंसते उठते सदन कैसे चलाना, ये मैंने एक प्रकार से माननीय संगमा जी से सीखा, ऐसा कहो तो गलत नहीं होगा.
The Congress, with whom Sangma parted ways in 1999, described him as the tallest leader of the Northeast. Party President Sonia Gandhi said, "In Sangma, the nation lost an important voice." Sharad Pawar, once the closest ally of Sangma, with whom he founded the Nationalist Congress Party, also expressed grief on Twitter.
Country has lost a great person who was always protecting interests of parliamentary democracy and a champion of Northeast cause.
The Meghalaya government has announced a 7-day state mourning following Sangma's demise. Assembly Speaker Abu Tahir Mondol broke the news of his demise immediately after the governor's address on the first day of the budget session, shocking everyone present in the House. The Speaker also cut short the session and announced adjournment of the House till the day of his funeral to facilitate and ensure, as proposed by the Chief Minister. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And political leaders expressed shock and grief over the sudden demise of P.A. Sangma. Let's listen into some of the reactions.
In the parliamentary history, he will be remembered forever as one of the best speakers. It's a big loss to the country, big loss to the state of Meghalaya and to the northeastern people also.
संगमा साहब को एक ऐसी में राजनीतिक हस्ती मानता हूं जिसे कि इस देश की सारी पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज के लीडर्स का सम्मान प्राप्त था. ये बहुत बड़ी क्षति हुई है. मैं हृदय की गहराइयों से अपनी श्रद्धांजलि अर्पित करता हूं.
It's a deeply saddening and shocking news for all of us because he was in the House till 2 days ago. He was a very popular figure. Whatever the political differences of opinion people may have had with him, everyone liked and admired him a great deal because he used to, as that speaker said, he would laugh while conducting the House as Speaker.
96 में जब वो स्पीकर हुए और उस समय मैं भी लोकसभा का सदस्य था, जिस प्रकार से उन्होंने सदन चलाया हंसते हंसते लोगों को कॉन्फिडेंस में लेके, वो एक अपने आप में एक उदाहरण है.
कुछ दिन पहले ही उनसे मुलाकात हुई थी. महसूस ही नहीं होता था. एक तो उनकी उम्र ही पता नहीं चलती थी, लेकिन उनका जो निधन है, मैं देश के तरफ से और पार्टी की तरफ से उन्हें अपने संपूर्ण हृदय से श्रद्धांजलि अर्पित करता हूँ।
संगमा जी एक बहुत ऐसी शख्सियत हैं कि जो उनके संपर्क में आया, जिसको काम करने का मौका मिला उनके साथ, वो कभी भी उनको भूल नहीं सकता।
संगमा जी मेरे बहुत अच्छे मित्र थे, बहुत अच्छे इंसान थे और लोकसभा के स्पीकर के रूप में उन्होंने जो कार्य किया है वो हमारे देश की जनता और संसद कभी भूल नहीं सकती। विशेष रूप से नॉर्थ ईस्ट के विकास के लिए सतत प्रयत्नशील रहते थे।
श्री पीए संगमा हमारे पार्टी के एक बहुत वरिष्ठ हमारे संस्थापक सदस्य थे और हमारे केवल पार्टी के ही नहीं लेकिन हमारे देश के एक बहुत बड़े नेता रहे, देश के लोकसभा के स्पीकर रहे। पूरे देश का हर बच्चा, हर व्यक्ति, बड़ा और छोटा उनको जानता था और बहुत उनको चाहता था।
P.A. Sangma's death forced adjournment in Rajya Sabha yesterday. Leader of the House Arun Jaitley requested for an adjournment after the question hour, a request that found unanimous support.
11 o'clock on Tuesday, the 8th of March.
In a rare gesture, Rajya Sabha was adjourned for the day soon after lunch as a mark of respect to former Lok Sabha Speaker P.A. Sangma. Soon after question hour, Leader of the House Arun Jaitley suggested to Chairman Mohammad Habib Ansari that since Sangma breathed his last in the national capital, members could go and pay their respects.
I understand that a large number of members, and there's a broad consensus that because of the sad demise of Mr. Sangma, they will want to go to his residence to pay tributes to him. So would the chair consider dispensing or postponing the after lunch sitting today?
I think the leader of the house is very correct, not that the honorable members would like to participate in his last rites, but also being a cabinet minister for a long time, chief minister and the speaker of the other house, and more so from the maybe in the northeastern state, one of the tallest leaders in the recent past. I think it will be appropriate that after 1 o'clock we just call the day as a mark of respect.
This request because he unfortunately passed away in Delhi. And therefore the body is there. It will be taken there, but I think before the body is flown out of Delhi to pay respects, there's a strong feeling, sir.
So what is the suggestion?
Today I would suggest, sir, the private members' business be postponed for another day. And then we can adjourn.
Before adjourning the House, the chairman sought to know if it would be a one-off case since Sangma was a sitting member of Lok Sabha and not Rajya Sabha. According to rules, only that House is adjourned whose sitting member passes away.
I would like to inform the members, those who are not aware of it, and put it on record, that our practice in this House has been to adjourn when a sitting member passes away.
Correct.
Are we doing it as a very special gesture over and above our practice?
Consider it as a one-time case, particularly because he passed away in Delhi. His body is likely to be taken to Meghalaya and is a very important leader of the country, and a number of members may want to visit his residence to pay last respect to him.
Members of the House also requested that business for the post-lunch session be postponed to another day. Ravindra Shauran's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
Now to some other news, where President Pranab Mukherjee will inaugurate the National Conference on Women Legislators and Lawmakers at Delhi's Vigyan Bhavan today. The event will discuss several important issues. Vice President Mohammad Habib Ansari, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Lok Sabha Speaker Sumitra Mahajan will also address the gathering. Bangladesh's Speaker and CPA's President Shireen Chaudhary will chair the event. Social and economic development, good governance and legislation will be the key focus areas during the event. The conference is being organized by Lok Sabha Speaker Sumitra Mahajan on International Women's Day. Around 300 women MPs and MLAs will participate in the event. Well, after a suspense of 2 months, PDP chief Mehbooba Mufti has now hinted at going ahead with forming the government with the BJP. Mehbooba Mufti said that she is not afraid of criticism over her decision to join hands with the BJP. She, however, says that she wants the centre to send out a signal that it will do everything for the welfare of people of the state. Hours after she said this, she also met Governor N.N. Vora for an hour and discussed political issues and various challenges faced by the state, which is under governor's rule since 8th of January. Now, PDP, along with the 25-member BJP, ran a coalition government headed by Mufti Mohammad Said for 10 months before the sudden demise of the then Chief Minister on 7th of January.
मुफ्ती साहब ने जिस मकसद के लिए इतना बड़ा फैसला किया, अगर वो मकसद मुद्दा पूरा होता है तो मुझे कोई फिक्र नहीं है कि लोग जो हैं वो मुझे बीजेपी के साथ जाने के लिए उनको अच्छा लगे बुरा लगे। अगर लोगों का फायदा होता है कोई बात नहीं। मैं मुफ्ती साहब को सबसे ज्यादा पार्टी प्यारी थी, मगर जब लोगों की बात आई तो उन्होंने पार्टी के बारे में नहीं सोचा उस वक्त।
Well, moving on in the bulletin now, leaders of the communist parties on Friday said that JNU Students' Union President Kanayakumar will campaign for the left front in 5 assembly poll-bound states. The CPI said that it is natural for Kanaya to campaign for the party since he is a left activist. Kumar is the leader of All India Students' Federation, which is the students' wing of the CPI. With West Bengal, Assam, Kerala, Tamil Nadu and Puducherry going to polls in April and May, the demands for Kanhaiya to be part of the canvassing process had reportedly risen in various parts of the country. Kanayakumar was arrested on a charge of sedition 3 weeks ago for allegedly raising anti-India slogans. His arrest had triggered a massive outcry in the country. He was granted interim bail for 6 months earlier this week on conditions that he would cooperate in the ongoing investigation and also present himself before the police as and when required.
He is leader of our All India Students Federation. He is member of our party. That way he belongs to the communist movement. He belongs to the left movement. Now he is one of the outstanding leaders of our youth students, and he will participate in the campaign, in the elections. But how his program will be organized, that all will be discussed and decided by the party.
A very short breather in here. We'll be back with more news. Stay tuned.
We have only exploited less than 1% of the, you can say, the microorganisms that exist in the world. Technology is coming up through which we can culture these microorganisms, and I mean, like, they can be a source of novel bioactive molecules. We are living in basically post-antibiotic era right now. It becomes even more important to look for the newer molecules and newer scaffolds which can overcome the resistance.
Watch Eureka with Dr. Bhaval Ali Shah, scientist at CSIR IIM, only on Rajya Sabha TV.
Welcome back now. An Indian nun is among 16 people who were killed by gunmen in an attack in the Yemen port city of Aden. The nun belonged to the Missionaries of Charity in Kolkata.
An Indian nun from the Missionaries of Charity in Kolkata is among the 4 nuns killed in an attack in the Yemeni port of Aden. They were among the 16 people who were killed when gunmen attacked an old people's home. The 4 attackers told a guard they were on a visit to their mother, then stormed into the home and opened fire with rifles. The dead also include 2 Yemeni women staff, 8 elderly residents and a guard. Earlier, External Affairs Ministry spokesperson Vikas Swarup tweeted, clarifying that 1 Indian nurse, Cecilia Mins, was killed. The clarification came as an earlier tweet by the External Affairs Minister had said that 4 Indian nurses were killed. Minister Sushma Swaraj asked all Indians living in danger zones to return home. She also said that nurses stayed back in Yemen, ignoring advisories by the government.
News is really shocking. The details that I get is that it happened at 8:30 in the morning, local time, while the sisters were serving breakfast. And there were 5 sisters. One of them is the superior, who wasn't located by the gunmen. But the other 4 were serving at the same time, and they were shot.
The gunmen fled after the attack. Their motive is not known yet. This is not the first time the Missionaries of Charity nuns were targeted. They also came under attack in Yemen in 1998 when gunmen killed 3 nuns in the Red Sea port city of Hodeidah.
बहुत दुर्भाग्य घटना है। ये नर्सेज वहाँ लड़ाई के बीच में काम कर रही थी और अपनी मॉरल रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी समझते हुए ये वापस नहीं आई और वहाँ ओल्ड होम के लिए लोगों के लिए काम कर रही थी। और अफसोस की बात यह कि इनको आतंकवादियों ने इनको भी नहीं छोड़ा।
In the wake of escalation of violence, the Indian embassy in Yemen's capital Sana'a was closed last year, and all its functions were carried out from a camp office in Djibouti, a country neighboring Yemen and across the Red Sea. Al-Qaeda and the IS have been stepping up attacks in Aden. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And on to the other big story. Well, India has filed a complaint to the World Trade Organization against the US over its decision to impose a high fee on temporary working visas, mostly involving the technology sector. Now, India's response came after the US raised the fee for temporary visas early in December. As a result, a few Indians received unfair treatment compared to Americans in providing similar services in sectors like the computer services. The US was, however, quick to respond as it said that its visa program was recently updated on a bipartisan basis by the Congress and is fully compliant with the WTO obligations. The WTO will now make further information available in the coming days. News from Syria. Well, casting shadow over the peace talks, the opposition on Friday said the government forces have been mobilizing troops on several fronts. They expressed doubts if the UN-brokered talks would take place on 9th of March. The Syrian opposition's comments came as the rockets were fired by Assad forces and they hit rebel-held towns in Idlib province. However, major European powers expressed hope that at least a partial truce in Syria will create a momentum for peace talks. Meanwhile, taking advantage of the brief ceasefire, thousands of protesters across Syria took to the streets holding rallies. They called for Syrian President Bashar al-Assad to step down.
ونحن نعتقد أن الظروف حاليا غير مواتية لعقد مثل هذه المفاوضات، كون المساعدات والمواد التي وردت في القرار 2254 لم تطبق.
We have a mechanism in place with the Russians, with other partners, to try to establish and work through any violations of the ceasefire. That is now up and running. And we will hold to account those who violate the ceasefire.
Well, Republican candidate Ben Carson has pulled out from his campaign for the U.S. presidential nomination. Ben Carson, a retired neurosurgeon by profession, had been a front-runner, but his campaign stalled recently following a poor performance on foreign affairs and questions about his background story. But he refrained from saying which of the remaining 4 candidates he plans to endorse in the race for the Republican nomination. Remember, 4 U.S. states, Kansas, Kentucky, Louisiana and Maine, go to polls on Saturday.
You know, I did the math. I looked at the delegate counts. I looked at the states. I looked at the requirements. And I realized that it simply wasn't going to happen. And if that's the case, then I didn't want to interfere with the process.
Let's get you some more international stories in World Wrap. Turkish police on Friday raided the offices of the opposition newspaper Zaman hours after a court ruling placed it under the state control. Troops entered the newspaper building in Istanbul, firing tear gas at the protesters who had gathered outside. Zaman is closely linked to the Hizmet movement of influential US-based cleric Fethullah Gulen. The Turkish officials said that Hizmet is a terrorist group aiming to overthrow President Recep Tayyip Erdogan's government. European Commission President Jean-Claude Juncker on Friday said that Ukraine will not be able to join NATO or the European Union for at least another 20 years. His comments came in the context of an upcoming April referendum in the Netherlands on a free trade deal between the EU and Ukraine. The agreement does not qualify as the first step towards EU membership. Prominent members of Malaysia's ruling and opposition parties joined forces to call for Prime Minister Najib Razak to step down following corruption allegations against him. However, Najib Razak continues to hold the stand that allegations have been officially cleared and he has called it a political vendetta. On to some cricket news, and Pakistan has finally won a consolation victory at the Asia Cup after defeating Sri Lanka by 6 wickets in their inconsequential final round-robin league encounter. After much hue and cry over the team's performance, Pakistan came up with a strong batting performance, with Umar Akmal slamming a quick-fire 48 as Pakistan chased down the total of 151 in 19.2 overs while losing 4 wickets. Batting first, Sri Lanka's Tilak Ratne Dilshan's unbeaten 75 helped Sri Lanka reach a score of 150. Chasing a challenging target of 151, Pakistan struggled at the start, losing Mohammad Hafiz in just 14 runs in the 4th over of the innings. But then Pakistan produced a collective batting performance to win the match in 19.2 overs. Umar Akmal's 48 off 37 balls and Shoaib Malik's 13 not out added 56 runs in 6.1 overs to take Pakistan home. Akmal's innings had 4 boundaries and 2 huge sixes. Another sports stories in Sports Beat. 15-time world champion Pankaj Advani continues his winning run without losing a single frame in the Asian Billiards Championship. Advani defeated Thailand's Surya Subana Singh 4-0. In his 4th round of the 5th round-robin matches, the Indian sits at the top of his group with a total frame score of 16-0, having whitewashed his opponent in all 4 of his matches. In badminton, Indian challenge was ended at the German Open with PV Sindhu losing her quarterfinal match 16-21, 18-21 to 4th seed Chinese Wang Xian, while Parupalli Kashyap suffered an injury at the midway through his match, dealing a fresh blow to his Olympic qualification hopes. World Championship silver medalist Jeetu Rai announced his return to the competition circuit by winning the men's 50-meter free pistol gold in Shooting World Cup in Bangkok. Showing no signs of injury worries, Jeetu beat China's former world and Olympic champion Pang Wei to the yellow medal. The Indian shot 191.3 to Wei's 186.5. In tennis, France Davis Cup captain Yannick Noah scored a 2-0 lead over Canada in their World Group first round match. Gail Monfils and Gil Simon both won in straight sets on the day, while Japan's Kei Nishikori overcame a brave Daniel Evans of Great Britain in the second rubber of their playing Davis Cup encounter to bring a tie level, whilst Kazakhstan Mikhail Kukushkin also levelled his country's tie with Serbia. That's all in this news bulletin. Thanks for watching.